Hi, Mike.
Hi, Mike.
I sit down now.
It's not M-I-K-E, it's M-I-C. Duh.
Well, you know, I don't discriminate against people and how they spell their names.
Yeah. Yeah, because yours should be an I and not a Y.
What? There's not a Y in my name.
Yes, there is. Emmy.
Oh, fuck, there is a...
Oh, fucking hell.
I don't know how to spell my name. Okay. Oh my god.
Are you guys fucking ready for this shit?
It's gonna grab a toilet paper roll and I'm like...
Nope, that's not gonna work.
Trust me, I'm gonna need it. Okay.
So yeah, this is story time. We've actually been wanting to put this together for a while, and we thought, what better way to test out our new mic and boom stand than to do a story time?
He got drunk.
And this one's dying. Is this how you wanted him?
Well, he's hiding. He's playing peekaboo.
Oh, okay. Well, there you go, Stance. Anyway, God. We've been through a lot of shit. Especially when we first started. When we fucking first started.
We are idiots. You probably should never do half the shit that we do, okay?
Please don't.
If you do it, like, this is my disclaimer, it's not our dang fault.
Yeah.
What happens to you, because we are flat out telling you, do not do this stuff.
So, when we first went to the warehouse, we didn't film any of it. We just went because we were like, fuck yes.
Well, we had been in, like, we had driven by a couple times before this, and, like, the big heavy metal door had always been closed, and, like, it was open this one day, and we were like, and this was, like, before we had cameras, I think. And so we just, like, freaking jumped on that shit. We're like, we're gonna do this. We went. It's so funny. We did, man. We, like, went that freaking night. And we ran into, like, the local Walmart right there and grabbed a little blanket. That's a blue blanket that you've seen in a lot of other videos probably in the future or past or whatever. Anyway. After that, you will see the blanket. Weird time travel stuff. Anyway. But, like, we ran and we used the restroom because, like, we don't know how long we're going to be there. And so, like, we grabbed this blanket and we get back there and the door's still open and we're super excited. And, like, we get in there with, like, our blanket, you know, and the board and, like, the candles and everything. And I go to shut the door and I just give it a light push and I watch it swing. But all of a sudden it just, like, I swear to God, it picked up speed, like, on its own and freaking slammed shut. And I'm like, oh, don't worry, we'll get it later. Okay, so ignoring the door.
We completely go through and we just start looking at everything and we're like, wow, like, this place is really actually spooky, a little spoopy. Cool. And
yeah,
we, like, saw the big barrel with the dead rat in there.
Oh my God, it's still there, by the way.
Actually, yeah, I showed it in the video.
It's still there. It's still the thing.
And we get in there, we get set up, put candles around us and everything. At that time, we were still doing circle candles.
We were, and it was a good thing too, because the atmosphere in there was like, whoever was in there was like super mad that we were there. They were just really mad. They were like putting all their force into making this super spooky atmosphere, okay? So picture this, we're in the middle of this big room in this warehouse, in the dark, with nothing but candles around us. And, like, I can literally see, like, and feel everyone just swirling around the outside of the candle circle. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, and I'm thinking to myself, we have to pack this up later and, like, walk back through this empty, dark warehouse. And, like, by this, you know, that time there might be some homeless dude that sneaks in or something. What are we gonna do?
And so she's freaking out, like, and she said, I think I actually want to pack up and leave now, and like keep like a couple candles on. And I was like, you really don't want to do this.
But I did.
And she did, but she was scared as shit. So I said, why don't you just call Z?
Oh my god. And like, we had only been talking to Z for like a few months, and we had already had a bunch of back and forth. Like, because obviously he's demonic, he lies, he like does tricks and shit. And so we were pissed off royally at him at this point. So we're sitting there, and like the tension is just overpowering. It's overwhelming, and like she says, "Well, why don't you just call him?" And I'm like, "Shit." so I'm like, "Fine." So very reluctantly, I'm like, "Okay, I'm going to call on," and I just basically did my little. I don't even remember what exactly.
Well, yeah, because we took to the planchette, we went ahead and put it on the board, and we started doing the circle constantly.
Oh, that's like, right. While I was talking.
So sorry, about all this stuff that's going on. Can you please show up?
That's what it was. Yeah.
And he did.
He did, and it was so funny too. And I wish we would have this on camera. He was so excited that we had called on him that like the planchette was literally like rocking back and forth as it was like zooming all over the board. It was kind of adorable, but don't tell him it's that bad. Oh my god.
But we asked if he could help us, and his response was
no. Just that emoticon with like the straight line for the mouth was like totally just like, yeah, that's pretty much it. It was just a no, period. And I was like, shit. And like in that moment, even then, like I understood why, which is, he didn't want to interfere with our choice. Like we had a choice in that moment. That was like a major leap from our old path onto this new path that's like full of adventure and excitement and like, learning new things. It's completely different from our old lives. Like if you would have told me that I would be doing this months ago, I would have been like, you're fucking insane. So in the moment, I understood like why he said no. And so I just kind of sat there for a moment, and I was just really thinking hard about like, this is basically our chance. This is our diving board of sorts. And so yeah, we were just like, all right, let's just do this.
Yeah, we jumped in head first, and it went way better than expected.
It did, actually. Like, the spirits were still swirling around. There was at least one woman, and there was a couple of males, and then there was the main guy who we actually spoke with, Matthew. And they were just, again, they didn't want us there. They thought we were there to trash the place or to make fun of them or disrespect them in some way. So, we had to basically calm them down, and a couple times we went through the whole spiel of, we're not here to ask you to put on a show. We're not here to like paint on your walls or like knock anything over or destroy something. If we do, we're very sorry. It's not what we're here for. We mean no disrespect. And after about like 10 or 15 minutes, like you could just feel the atmosphere. Once they kind of like understood and believed us that we weren't there to do anything negative. The atmosphere just changed. I mean, really, really freaking quick. And it went from one that was extremely hostile to one that was just like more curious, kind of. And like even during the session though, you could hear like stuff crunching around in the background, like somebody was moving in some of the other rooms. It almost sounded like someone was pacing for a minute there too, over the glass. And so, by the end of it, it was like, we were really friendly, and we were like, would it be possible for us to go back and film a little bit? Or, would any of you be interested in that? And they said yes, so that's why we have the little bit of film that we did. But it was really nice. And then so we packed up. We got all of our stuff packed up. And we're headed out the door, and of course I'm still shining my light all around because we had heard all these noises, and I'm like still not certain if it was like the spirits or if it was like some homeless dude or some crackhead or something that had like gotten in. And we make it to the door, and I go to open it, and it's It is locked. Ladies and gentlemen.
So, throughout the whole thing, we're sitting on the ground. We're there for actually a long time.
Well, at least 2 hours.
And the problem with us is we have baby bladders.
I have a mom bladder. I will correct you. I have given birth.
I have a baby bladder, and she's a mom bladder. So we are leaving, and I'm sitting there saying, I have got to go pee so bad. Like, I know it's like as soon as we get out here, I might have to go to the woods. I know that's like disrespectful, but I really need to go. The door's fucking locked. And we're sitting here in this closed space, no other way out. No fucking other way out besides this huge ass window where you have to climb on top of this thing and jump out of the window.
Oh my god. It was so bad. And there's like glass shards in the window too. I'll add that.
So she puts the blankie up.
I was smart because I watched like I pay attention in shows. How do you like survive this zombie apocalypse? You gotta be creative, right? So I thought about it and I folded up the blanket and I threw it over the sill so we wouldn't cut ourselves. So that was smart move number 1. Dumb move number 1 was I'm just gonna jump out the window.
So she gets up there and I'm like, oh my god, I don't even know how I'm gonna get up there. I'm sitting there squirming back and forth.
There's a desk there, by the way, that you can climb up onto. So it's not like we like had to jump up and then jump out, but it was like you would climb onto this desk. Well, you see it in the other videos. Yeah, we would climb onto this desk and then jump out. And I'm like, it's not that far.
No.
He wasn't that far from the ground. So I fucking get up there. And I'm like, I'm just going to jump. And I pushed myself off. And it was farther than I thought it was. For the record. So my glasses go flying off somewhere in the dark. My little weak bladder muscles, like, of course... They barely held on, but I'm not going to say they were 100% successful.
There was like a 90% held on, and then there was like a 10%, it's not, in the undies. I'm not going to admit that, but...
Oh my god. So I'm out there on the ground, I find my glasses, and I'm like, don't jump out the window. Just, serious moment. Don't jump out the window. I'm like, you need to like turn around on your stomach and slide down.
Mind you, we're right by the fucking road. So cars can pass by at any fucking moment and see us. So I'm sitting there like I can't go. I can't do this. I'm about to pee myself. And if you know me, you know my bladder. Like, I'm bad.
She's horrible, man. Every freaking 30 minutes.
So Amy has a brilliant idea. And she's like,
thought about it.
Amber, there's a bathroom in here. And there's 2 of them. Okay? There's a girl's bathroom. And actually there's 3 in this place. There's the girl's bathroom, the boys' bathroom, and then there's the main bathroom in the office.
In the office, yeah.
Anyway, I can't even remember which one I go to, but you just look down and there's just blackness in there, like a whole bunch of black gook, a brick,
so
fucking broken ass shit. Like, this thing's like old as shit, abandoned. So here I am in the dark, while the spirits are laughing at me, while Zozo's laughing at me, everybody's fucking laughing at me.
Fucking dies just like...
And I'm peeing, okay? And I'm peeing and I'm hovering over this damn toilet.
And like, yeah.
And then so she's out there. And I'm sure all she hears is a little pee. And then all of a sudden, I fucking fart.
Yeah, I didn't hear that part. I just, like, Matthew can't leave the building. He tends to stay inside there. So he's in this window is where I see him. And like... Z's outside, and like they're just giving me this look, and I'm like, what? And I hear her laughing. I'm like, what did I miss?
And so I pull my fucking pants up. I'm like, fuck this shit. And I finally climb up there, and as graceful as possible, I like actually after she has to coax me out there because I'm like, I can't do this. I'm
like, you can
out.
do it. It's like she has to fucking do this.
And I was like, fuck it. I just peed over a goddamn abandoned toilet. I'm gonna fucking go for it. So I fucking somehow do it, and I just like kind of slide down on the ground, and I'm like, well, that wasn't too bad. Amy's like, yeah, way better than me.
It was way more graceful to me. Like her, I would say it was like an 8.5, 9 out of 10. Mine was like a 3. So yeah. But that was still way better than the second visit. This is where it starts getting serious, y'all. And like we have said numerous times in the past that we are more afraid of people, like flesh and blood people, than we are actual spirits. Like even demons. Like I'm like, dude, I can deal with a demon any day. Just fucking bring it on. But people, like, I don't like people. And this is probably a good example of why.
So, this is months after our first trip, and we're trying to figure out how to go back in here to be able to film a video for you guys. And we had went during the day and tried getting in, and we have a TikTok up of it where we're just trying to get in this fucking warehouse, and we actually can't because we're fucking dumb as shit, and there's like too many vehicles coming around.
Yes.
But we go later on in the night, so there's less vehicles and less coverage. Yeah. So here we are. We find this. The place is basically a place for people to just drop their shit off that they don't want anymore. So there's this broken ass TV on the ground. It's a huge, like, one of the big bulky ones from like the fucking, first 2000s.
Yeah.
So then we lifted up and we bring it over there to the window. To the wall. No, I can't sing that song. Gonna get copyrighted. But anyway, we get over to the window, to the wall.
God. Yes.
And she gets up on there and it's wibbly wobbly.
I'm brave, y'all.
And we didn't bring we had it in there, but we didn't want to go back over to the road to grab this blankie.
Yeah.
To put it over there. And actually, during the third trip, we didn't either.
No.
We didn't even do it. Which plays a part.
I could feel it.
Which plays a part.
It does. She ripped her pants. It's like the SpongeBob song, but like different.
Anyway, that's besides the point. You'll actually see that in the video.
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
So, second one. So, second time at the warehouse. And I'm on one side looking at another window that you could technically get out of if you really wanted to, but I think you have to actually jump up if you wanted to get out.
Right.
And she's on the right side, and we hear this car come up, and we fucking duck. And it slows down to a complete stop, and all we see are the headlights.
Right, because it's actually, like, still, like, I guess it would be in the farther end of the building. So all we can see is these, it's a set of headlights. And it's, like, silent except for the car at that point.
And we don't hear any doors shut. We don't hear anything.
And I didn't realize that I didn't hear the door shut until after I got home that night, and I was telling my husband. I was like, oh, shoot, that's why I knew something was off. Like, because, seriously, the car just slowed down, and it sat there for, like, a full minute to maybe 2 minutes, and then it just goes off. And we're like, okay. So we turn around, like, that was weird. We turn around to, like, continue trying to figure out how to get up in this thing. And this guy is walking towards us, and we can hear him. We can't see him yet, but we can hear him yell, like, who's there? And we're like...
And he's very aggressive. He's like, who's there? Like, a fucking deep-ass voice.
Yeah.
And we're like, shit. So I'm like, I'm putting on my best face. And I'm like, hi! And he's like, his whole, like, attitude completely changed before we could even see him.
Right.
And he was like, oh, hey,
Yeah, because he heard the female. He heard that we were women, and then it just, like... And it was, like, if you can sense people's auras, like, you'll know what I'm talking about. He went from this big, huge, like, thing to, like, oh, hey, how are you doing? And it just was, like, instantly. Like, as soon as he knew that, like, it was females and not fucking dudes over here. Yeah. And so that was fun. And he walks around the corner, and he's, telling us this story about how, he just had his friends drop him off.
This was the only landmark he knew of. Mind you, just up the road, remember our first trip when we went there, there's a Walmart. There's a gas station. There's a Waffle House. You go into, like, so much more than just this one landmark.
And it's not even a landmark, really. It's just literally this dumpy building on the side of the road that hardly anybody goes down.
And so he said he had his friends drop him off here so his other friends could pick him up.
Yeah.
What? So we go on with this conversation. We basically tell him we're just there. We're, like to explore abandoned places. And he goes into, oh yeah, I've stayed the night here a couple times. So he follows this narrative that he's homeless.
I don't know how true that was though, because he wasn't like, business casual. Mm-hmm. He had like a t-shirt, I think, and then like some rough jeans.
Yeah.
But I mean, he wasn't like dirty bum either.
And he didn't look like he was scrawny, but he had muscle.
He was wiry, I think is the right word. And like it really freaked us out because like we were talking to him about like yeah, we're here to like do a YouTube channel. Do you know much about this? And he was like, no, but I've stayed here a few nights. And then we're like, well, we're gonna have to come back because we can't get the door unlocked, and we don't know how to get in.
I was trying to end the conversation pretty much.
Like we're gonna leave now.
And he just takes this TV that we already put it up against the wall, and he goes on it, and he just jumps right up in there with no fucking effort.
No, he just, and I'm like sitting there going, oh shit, if he gets this door unlocked, like we're not going in there. In my mind, I'm just screaming, we're not going in there, we're not going in there, because that is the only exit. Keep that in mind. The only exit is through this locked door if it's opened, or through the glass shard window. Okay, so I'm like getting chills, like just fucking going back, because I haven't even thought about this moment until now, actually, because it was so fucking terrifying. And like I'm trying to and like you can ask anybody, like in a scary situation like this, I don't panic. I just like go with it, and like I just handle it. I don't know how else to put it. It's only afterwards whenever I like really freak out.
Then she just panics. She just goes into full blown panic mode. She said, "How the fuck did we get out of there?"
Right. But so like we're and I see him go in there, and you can like hear him jiggling the lock, and he'll pause every few like seconds actually.
And he had his phone as his flashlight.
Right.
And he did have a phone.
He did have a phone.
And we didn't show him that we had any flashlights whatsoever.
Right.
Because that would have been bad.
That would have been really bad.
And
you can see under I don't know if you were watching this, but underneath the door, you could see his phone like point towards the ground, like he was freaking, and it would jiggle like he was typing on it and shit. And this train goes by.
Yes.
And it was weird. Okay, so like I grew up next to train tracks.
You'll see in the actual video of when we're going through like the Gates of Hell videos, and like while we're in Illinois, because this is her hometown where she used to live. One of the videos, you can actually hear the train go by.
Oh, can you?
Yes.
Awesome.
While we're down there.
So
in her basement.
Right, and that entire house shakes. So like I know what a train whistle sounds like. Okay, and like me and her discussed this, but after we were in the car and like well away from this place that night, like on our way home we discussed this. Like the train whistle was just wrong. It was like a fucking weird low, it was like a fucking spoopy whistle. Like trains don't have that fucking whistle unless it's in the movies. Like that kind of shit. Again, I'm getting fucking goosebumps. God dang it.
It was really, really weird. And so as he's in there doing his whatever the fuck he's doing, which would give him ample time as well to get on the phone with somebody, because the train is right next to the warehouse. Right. It's loud as fuck.
Yeah, we can't hear him.
Which I think you can hear in the warehouse too. I think the train goes by at some point and we like have to like wait.
Oh, we do. It's fucking loud. So, yeah. And so I like wave her over and I'm like, look, if he gets this door open, we're not going in. Like, we have to go now.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to like figure out the best way to kind of disentangle ourselves. And he ends up coming back out and sitting down on this little log he was sitting on in the first place. And he's like, well, I can't get the door open. I'm sorry. You can wait and see if my friends
Yeah, and he was just like, I'm here waiting on my friends still if you want to wait. And we were like, no, we actually have to go. We were just here to scout it out tonight. And we didn't tell him when we were coming back. We didn't tell him anything.
Right.
And so he, trying to still talk to us as we're walking away. And we're like, well, you have a great night. And he's like, you too. And we get in the fucking car and like...
And I fucking book it. Like, I didn't even pay attention to see if she had her belt on. I put my belt on and I started the car and we were gone. And literally, like, it's a very short drive to where the road tees. And so we made our turn, and we went a little bit farther, and there were, like, literally
right across the train tracks.
Yeah, there were 4 cars, bumper to bumper, that were rushing to go back to towards, like, where we were. And I was like, fuck, what the fuck did we just miss?
So that night was scary as fuck. And I like almost wish we could have filmed it, because we did have the cameras at the time, but we just didn't think about that because we weren't planning on filming that night. We were just trying to scout out. It was fucking scary. And it's literally, I don't know, it might even be scarier than the fucking actual filmed shit at the third time that we went to the warehouse, which you will see that. And we go into like details of that, but that second time was really scary. The third time was fucking scary as well. And
I want to go back for my birthday.
We do want to go back because Matthew misses us.
I want to talk to Matthew, like, so freaking bad. We didn't get to talk to him, like, at all the last time we were there because of all the stuff going on. And it's like, I
can't believe we actually stayed to even talk to him that night.
Like, he's our friend. Like, it's weird, but, like, we have spirit friends. Like, I wanted to fucking sit down and say hi.
Yeah.
And share the candy.
And
like,
we totally did. And we did it. And it was
And he was
scary.
really sad, though. He was so sad. Like, that entire time we were sitting there in the dark, sharing the candy and stuff, he knew it would be short. And he was so sad. And it's like, I was sad because it's like, I just want to sit down and talk with them more, you know? And that's kind of how it goes. Like, whenever, it's just like making, like, flesh and blood friends. You know, it's like, it's really sad when you don't get the time that you want to spend with them. But, yeah, so that was, you know, that was our second warehouse visit in and of it. You know, I can't even talk because it just was so freaking messed up, man. That was probably the closest we've been to dying.
I don't know if those dudes had found us there that night.
Oh shoot!
That's why I'm saying, like, with the warehouse, I don't know which story is worse.
Yeah, should we talk about that now or after?
See, and we wanted.
See, okay, we're not going to go into details, but I will say that it was very dangerous that night. That was the night, the second thing, that was the night that I got my license plate stolen while we were in there. They actually stole my license plate. Amber heard them over by my car, actually.
Because there was a frog or something underneath this, like, thing next to her car, and when we got out is when it started screaming at us, and we were like, what is that? And you'll hear that in the video. Like, I actually, like, paused and I'm like, what is this? And while we're in there, you can hear it go off again next to her vehicle as if somebody's close to it.
Yeah.
It was scary.
It was very scary. And so the good thing is, though, that entire time, I was just like, as long as we stay still, it'll be okay. And, like, the cameras kept freaking dinging, because, again, we're really fucking stupid, don't do this shit. You know, and so, but they never they should have heard us, but they never actually heard the dinging. Or if they did, it didn't actually spark their interest. And, like, the entire time we're standing there, like, I was as still as a freaking statue. Like, my muscles were sore as crap the next day because, like, I did not move. And I was leaning against this door frame, and I could feel, like, a few of our guys that, you know, we share, like, around us. And I was like, please just make them go away. You know, the entire time I'm praying to everybody I know. I'm, like, asking them for help. I'm asking God for help. I'm asking the angels for help. And I'm just praying my heart out, and they just keep saying, stay calm. Don't move. It'll be okay. Just be patient. And so, like, we were just sitting there freaking, like, terrified because we're like, if they come in here, we're screwed.
Yeah.
Like, in so many ways.
At that point, my mind was saying, if they come in here, I've got to put face on real fucking quick. Anything they want, they can have it. That's my mindset.
Well, yeah.
And thank God they didn't. They were rummaging around outside for God knows what. Maybe they were crackheads or something.
Meth heads, probably.
Meth heads.
Yeah.
Looking for something to pawn off and sell, or, you know, maybe they were, I don't know, but it was like 4 guys.
Yeah.
4 fucking guys out there.
4. And that was another thing, like, we heard 2 of them talking, a third one moving around. I didn't know there was 4, but he must have been the one over at my car who wasn't really making any noise, or something, I don't know. But, you know, whenever we got home that night, I was talking to my husband about it, and, like, of course my guys were around, and they were like, no, there was actually 4. One of them stayed mostly around the car, and I was like...
So yeah, we did not die.
Yeah.
Because we're here. But yes, don't fucking do what we goddamn do.
Oh, and the best part, that was the night I actually had bought I had actually bought a machete and a walking stick. The walking stick had fallen out the window outside, so they could have picked that up and taken it at any moment. And the machete was still in the car in the original packaging. We're idiots.
So yeah, the warehouse is actually one of like the most dangerous places that we've been.
It is, actually.
Being like human being wise.
Yeah.
So this one's just like a little short funny one. And it's also not funny because it also shows that Zozo is a dangerous demonic being.
Yeah.
Do not mess with him.
This was, again, an early story where we didn't really know him that well, and we were like really trying to piece together who is this I say guy, but who is this being? Who is this demon or whatever? And so we had kind of like connected some dots together, and we were trying to see like what pieces fit and what pieces didn't fit. And it's kind of surprising, some of the stuff that we found. And we actually want to make a documentary on him. And I think I'm going to, you know, we kind of put that on hold. That was actually going to be one of our first videos, but we put it on hold for now. And like one of the things that we were looking into was, is he Pazuzu?
Which, honestly, we still can't answer that. He has went back and forth with us on it for quite some time, and it's really hard for him to like tell us the truth on that matter. So maybe it's something he really just can't talk about. But
yeah,
while I'm looking and researching and trying to put stuff together, I'm in my house. I just got home from work, and when I work on something, I put my mind to it. So I just booted up the computer and just started looking and doing research. The only lights that are in my house that were on was the kitchen light and my living room light, and I'm located in the living room on my computer. And I didn't do anything, didn't open any refrigerator, I wasn't cooking any food, I had done nothing in my house the entire time that I was there. I would say I was probably there about 30 to 45 minutes, and it just started fucking raining.
Did it start raining?
Yeah. I like it when it rains at work. Anyway, sorry. We're so mean. I was sitting there. I can't remember what I was actually reading, though.
Something on the numbers, right?
Yes. Oh, yes. So, okay. So, yeah. Zozo's favorite numbers, or Pazuzu's favorite numbers, are 28 and 7.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
28 and 7. Those are his favorite numbers, and then obviously Zozo's like, 6 is my favorite number. Yeah. But anyway, and as I'm sitting there reading these things about the numbers, and I'm like piecing shit together because this whole thing goes into a fucking circle. My fucking fire alarm in my goddamn room goes off. And mind you, I had not been in my room at all. I had just like literally threw my shit on the counter, turned on the lights in the living room, fucking booted up my computer, and I was sitting there, basically just sitting there the whole time, not moving, nothing else is on. I don't watch TV, I wasn't cooking anything, like I said. And so my fire alarm in my room goes off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And by the time I'm finally like getting up or whatever to go in there and be like, why is this going off? Yeah. It shuts off. And it doesn't, like, I didn't even have to stop it. It just shut off itself.
Yeah.
And my immediate response is picking up my phone and like calling Emmy. And she's like, why are you calling me this late?
Yeah, but it's weird because I was also up researching. And that was the night actually I was up trying to Google Translate line for line the old French text, trying to see what the original French text actually said about the three demons with that girl, you know, in that little village, because the three demon names were Zozo, Mimi, and I'm not sure how to pronounce it, but Crapule or Crapulette, something like that.
Yeah.
So I was up anyway, like researching Jin and that, and trying to translate, and just doing all this stuff on my laptop out here, actually. Which is kind of an interesting thing, because I never sit out here, but I knew I would be up late, so instead of being on the desktop, I was out here so that my husband could go to bed. So in the middle of this night, while I'm trying to freaking translate this crap and read up on Jin and stuff, like, I get this call from her, and she's like freaking out. And I'm like, okay, well, you know, you were researching the numbers. How many times did it actually go off?
And for some reason, I just knew it was Z. I just fucking knew it was him. I was like, you're a fucking dick. Like,
he's such a dick, though.
And like, people would probably be like, throw the whole fucking house away at this point.
Oh my god, you gotta cleanse your house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm like, no, he's just fucking around with me.
Oh
but like,
god.
he could do way much more. Like, that's the thing, though. That's what you have to take away from this. He could do way worse to you than just to make your fire alarm go off. Which, by the way, I have to get a new fire alarm because he's fucked with it, I guess. And now, like, anytime I take a shower and it's a little bit too hot, the fire alarm goes off now.
It's super sensitive.
And that's like... Anyway, he laughs about it still.
He does. He broke it so bad. Yeah.
So please, guys, please don't talk to him.
Yeah, he'll do a lot more than mess with your fire alarm. There's one story that we were considering sharing, but we're not going to. A, because of privacy reasons for the people involved. And B, because, I mean, I'm used to creepy stuff. And it, like, freaked me out, okay? Like, he started to put his game face on with someone, and the atmosphere changed completely. And he went straight for the jugular as far as, like, targeting this person's, like, mental, emotional weakness. And, I mean, he just went for it. Like, he didn't have to throw shit around, and it was still freaking scary as heck, okay? So, these beings are very, very dangerous. They will hurt you, but maybe not in the way that you would expect. And, I mean, we've had scratches, we've had pokes, we get touched all the freaking time. Like, at least once a day I get touched.
Sometimes they go a little hard and they make bruises.
They do, actually.
I think mine's mostly gone.
Faded, yeah.
But
yeah, I had a bruise here from someone, like, grabbing my arm one time. And actually, that day after we went to the cemetery, or the day that we went to the cemetery, we had brought one of our coworkers with us. And they were so unhappy that we had brought someone else in, that as soon as like, she got out and went to her car, and, like, we drove away to get lunch, they put this scratch on my back. And it, like, I didn't know what it was, though. It felt almost like a sunburn, but not quite. And so I didn't know what it was. It just hurt, like, really badly. Okay, so, and it hurt for, like, 2 days, it hurt the next day. And then that night, I think, is whenever I asked Gil, like, my husband, you know, I was like, is there anything there on my back? Because it really still hurts. And he took a look at it, and he's like, yeah, there's this big scratch there. And so the next morning, I'm like, I'm going to take a picture of it. You know, I'm going to, like, show Amber, and I'm going to, like, show our coworker. I don't know if she's named in the video. I don't know. Anyway, so I'm not even sure if we're going to use that footage, honestly. But, yeah, so I wanted to take a picture to show everybody. And, like, I go to take a picture, and he has the camera pointed at my back, and he's like, there's nothing here. And I'm like, well, you just said last night there was a scratch there.
yeah.
And he's like, yeah, it's all gone. There's just skin. And I'm like, okay. So, like, they will and can hurt you in multiple ways. So you have to be careful. You always have to be careful. And even when you are careful, like, there's still a good chance that you're going to get hurt. So you kind of have to expect that.
And you may think that, oh, I can handle emotional trauma and I can handle a little bit of scratches and whatnot. But we're not where we're going in, like, we're not going to go into it, but he did do something to that guy, and it was not something you just can't make up.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
please.
afterwards, I just kind of like, I was blown away, honestly. I was completely blown away because up until that point, like I kind of had like, demons are powerful, but like on a personal level, I guess I didn't know that like he was that powerful, and I was just like, okay.
So yeah, on that note, one of our last stories.
Yeah, we saved a funny one to kind of kick it back up a notch to make it funny again, so that we end on a good note. So there's a spot, and I want to be as general as possible because I don't want people trying to find this place because it is close by. And the beings there want to remain private. They don't want to be filmed. They don't want anybody knowing that they're there. So there's a spot that we have been to twice now. And the first time, did we have the board the first time? No, wait. Yeah, we did, because we
did, actually. We did.
Yeah, because we asked what they wanted to eat.
Yes.
Yeah, you'll see that again in a lot of our stuff. If we are allowed to film them, you'll see us bringing fruits and stuff.
It's a peace offering.
Kind of. It's kind of like hey, we're here to just chat, and we're not here to like, do anything bad kind of thing. We're very thankful and appreciative. It's just a nice little thing to do. So the second time we went, though,
and we're not allowed to film. Just mind you that. So we're not allowed to film. We're not allowed to tell you names or who they are, what kind of beings they are.
Any describing details. I don't want to do that again. I want to respect their privacy. Mm-hmm. They were very adamant that they need to remain behind the scenes. So, like, we get in there and we set up, like, the table with the fruit and stuff, and in this area, and we're talking with them and everything's going great, and it's like literally 2 hours in, okay? Like, we just sit there and chit chat with them basically for 2 hours.
It was really nice.
It was.
And nobody showed up, and it was just like really
just
nice.
Us, yeah, nice and quiet.
It was Necrophonic was on too. We were using it.
Right.
So.
And like, it was so cool. You could actually, and this freaking is exciting to me, okay? Like, you could totally hear them chomping on the fruit, like, as they were eating it. Mm-hmm. It was so freaking neat. This is Sunshine, by the way.
Sunshine doesn't like me.
No,
he's the first cat that doesn't like me.
He's a baby, though. Like, he acts like a big baby, and he's super spoiled. So, yeah. Anyway, back to the story.
So, like, let's... my baby bladder kicks in, and her mama bladder kicks in, and we're like, we have to use the restroom, and, we're only, like, about 20 minutes away from my house at this point, so I was like, I should be able to hold it until we get back home, because one of the things is that they don't like you actually using the restroom out in nature. That could be their home at any point, so we try not to do that. So we're sitting there, and in the background, I can hear something besides just Necrophonic. And I just immediately turn it off, and Amy's like, what? And I'm like, what is that noise? And it's just this, I can't even recreate.
It's like a, sort of like, it comes and goes in revs, but it's like this growling noise. And I'm like, yeah, I heard that. And I'm just sitting there drinking and eating, and I'm like, what is that?
Yeah, and so it doesn't register to her that we're inside this place that you're not allowed to, not allowed to, but you're not supposed to hear something unless it's big and it's powerful and it's got a voice that means something. Right. And it's definitely outside of this place.
It sounded like it was above us on the hill, actually, like up above us on the hill.
Could be actually. Yeah. And just imagine going through the rock and through the dirt.
It was that loud. It was that loud where it was echoing, around the trees and stuff to us. And then it was also echoing, through the rock face there. Special moment, guys. Are you going to pet him? Oh. Okay. Okay, he was just checking her out. But anyway, so it's like this super loud, impressive noise. And I'm like, I don't know what that is. And she's like, I think it's a bear. And I'm like, a bear? And we sit there, and it's still going, mind you, this entire freaking time that we're discussing, like, what is this? And I'm like, there's no bears around here. Blonde, blonde, blonde.
We're in the fucking forest, and she says, "There's no bears around here." I'm like, "We gotta go." And so we asked them, we're like, "Should we go?" And they're like, "Yes."
Yeah, I mean, it like fucking zoomed to yes, man. They're like, fucking, you need to get the fuck out.
And so mind you, we thought this was just like a normal trip, you know. We have the fucking tables and chairs and like all this shit.
Oh my god, though. It was just fucking, it was awesome. It was an awesome moment because while it's still going, by the way, it was going until we got to the car. But, like, I'm running the little tray of stuff to leave for them over to set next to a boulder. And, like, I'm, you know, going back to get the chairs and stuff folded. And I'm trying to get the dang table. And the table is a piece of crap. So I'm banging shit around and it won't close. And I'm banging it around some more. And 5 minutes later, literally, probably, we finally start going. Anyway, so it takes us like 5 minutes, right? So we finally start heading to the car, and like we're still banging crap around.
My chairs are clean because I'm holding both the chairs. And she's like got her shit in the table, and I'm like clink, 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 and I'm like shit. And we have to pee, and so I'm like walking strange, trying to not, you know, pee myself. And we have to like walk to the car, which isn't that far, but it's still, you know, a little walk. Like if the bear just showed up out of nowhere, he could have fucking killed us at any goddamn given point.
We would be so dead. Like people would just find the tables and chairs strewn about.
Well, yeah, because I mean, we would be throwing it at the bear. I don't like at this point though. But the problem now, you know, arose was we were eating fruits
in the middle of the forest. In the middle of the forest,
which we still do.
We do actually. But it was really aromatic fruit, and some of it was actually new fruit that we had tried for the first time that day, and that was really aromatic. So, yeah, we were doing something really stupid.
Don't do it.
Don't do this.
So, we get in the car, and I'm like, okay, let's go. So she's like, she goes. We finally, you know, go, and we're on the road, and I'm like, hey, Google. Oh, shoot. Don't turn on. Anyway. Okay,
yeah.
Turn on. But anyway, I asked that, and I'm like, what does a bear sound like? And then all of a sudden, it fucking goes, the exact sound that we heard, except that it was like obviously in that like position we were in, it was reverberating. And I was like, shit, and he's like, fuck, but there's not supposed to be any bears around here. And I'm
there's
like,
no bears.
So I fucking explained to her that we're in a fucking forest, man.
But there's houses. That's my argument. There's houses around.
There's houses around. Anyway, so we sit there and I'm laughing so hard. Mind you, I fucking pissed myself in the car.
I, for the record, held it very well.
This time.
Oh, shit.
So the moral of the story is don't do what we do.
Yeah, I think that sums up all 4 stories, actually, though.
Fuck.
Oh my god. Yeah. Do you need a tissue?
I'm all good, ma'am.
Yeah. So, to sum it up, the warehouse is a dangerous place. And don't eat fruit in the middle of the woods.
And we still do that anyway.
But, I mean, we have to.
And demons are dangerous.
Oh, frick. Yeah.
And we get that so fucking much still. Like, because we post our stuff all the time.
Yeah, we've started posting pictures of us using the Ouija board. And, of course, the videos coming out. And people... I think we should do a whole other video on that, actually. Just talking about demons and all the different spirits that we've encountered. And safe ways to do that. And, like... Well, that'll probably be in our how-to video.
It could be, but I just, you know, just a quick, like, little note here. Like, we know how dangerous it is to speak with demons and do what we do. Our job, per se, is a life hazard, and we know that.
Yeah. The reason that we do it, though, is because we want other people to learn from our experiences. We want to gain that knowledge so that people can be more informed. They can learn that, you know, demons aren't necessarily all bad. They're, you know, they can teach you things, but just the way they teach you things is usually pretty tormenting.
And traumatic a bit.
A lot traumatic, actually. It is very traumatic. So I don't recommend anyone doing this.
I do recommend spirit guides. If
Yes.
you are,
Yes.
if you can, get a spirit guide. Gosh, they're so amazing.
Well, I think I've heard both stories, actually, is that some people say, well, like, not everybody has spirit guides, and then the other camp is that everybody has spirit guides. And honestly, even just, like, praying to God or praying to whatever God you believe in, praying to the angels, or just praying to beings of light, like, that will do it too. Because there's always somebody listening. There's always somebody listening. But yeah, so that's story time in a nutshell.
Pretty much. And I'm Amber. This is Crossing.